First, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to imagine with me as you drive, you are driving in the car, and you come up to a stop sign, stop light, and another car drives up next to you, and you all of a sudden you start to hear and then you drive to the next corner, and you stop at the corner, and you turn right into a shopping mall, and you go into the store, and you hear this.
Turn it off.
Then you go out, you get your stuff, you buy your stuff, and you put it in a car, and you go into, you start to drive home, and you put on the radio. And on the radio, there's a commercial that has this music in the background. So you turn it off, and then you go home, and you sit down on your couch, you put all your groceries away and stuff like that, and you turn on your stereo system to relax. You listen to this. Isn't that nice? You can open your eyes now. Now, in our average daily lives, whether you realize it or not, we are surrounded by music, are we not?
Yes.
Music is a big part in our lives. We hear it everywhere. It's all around us. And you may already know that music affects your emotions greatly. If you listen to a fast, upbeat song, it may make you want to work out or whatever. If you listen to something slower, it may help you to relax more. Now, this is why we should pay attention to what we listen to, because music affects our minds. Ellen White says, those things which have been in the past, oh man, I can't see it, but in the past will be in the future. Satan will make music a snare by the way in which it is conducted. What she means is that, let me ask you this question. What was Satan in charge of in heaven?
Choir.
The choir. He was talented in music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you another question. Do you think that he will use this talent to deceive people?
Yeah.
Absolutely right. He is definitely going to use that talent. Now the issue is this. There are two major kinds of music that I've noticed. And I'm going to divide that down. Rock, I'm going to generalize as being, metal, rap, pop, hip-hop, jazz, all sorts of 21st or 20th century music. And everything before that, excluding the 21st century music, I'm going to generalize as classical music. Okay? Now we're going to look at this issue from the historic perspective, scientific perspective, logical perspective, and a biblical perspective. Our first perspective, Napoleon understood this power of music. He summed it up by saying, "Give me control over he who shapes the music of a nation, and I care not who makes the laws." So he definitely understood the power of music. Einstein, did you all know that he did horrible in school, in grade school?
Yeah.
But as he started to learn violin, he started to become a genius, as we all know. He said, "It occurred to me by intuition, and music was the driving force behind that intuition. My discovery was the result of musical perception." So music in his life was a great big deal. Handel, when he wrote his water music, he wrote it to help King George I of England overcome his depression and stress problems. So if any of you have stress problems or depression problems, you can go over to listen to water music, and I have a clip of that. And this music was specifically designed to help you de-stress. So this is just one of the movements. Isn't that just uplifting?
Yeah.
It just it makes me want to smile, you know? Yes. So, now after Handel finally finished in 28 straight days his masterpiece called The Messiah, he said, "I have seen the hand of God." Handel was so inspired that he contributed his genius to God and refused to take credit. So, next slide. And other composers also acknowledged that they were inspired by God. Classical composers. Brahms said, "Then I feel capable of drawing inspiration from above. As Beethoven did, straight away the ideas flow in upon me, directly from God." The powers from which all truly great composers like Mozart, Schubert, Bach, and Beethoven drew their inspiration is the same power that enabled Jesus to work his miracles. It is the power that created our earth and the whole universe. So most great classical composers admit that they were inspired by God. And when there's an inspiration, there's power in that. Do you think that there is also power in the inspiration of Satan? So we need to be careful of what is good music and what is not good music. Now we'll go on to scientific perspective. There was a study done on plants by some doctors, and they said that the plants grew twice as fast as usual. And they said, I like this, violin music was found to be one of the most life-enhancing instruments of all. And I was pleased to hear that because I play violin. Yet, perhaps the most interesting and significant of all Dr. Singh's findings was that later generations of the seed from musically stimulated plants carried on the improved traits of greater size, more leaves, and other characteristics. Classical music has actually changed the plant's chromosomes. Isn't that amazing? And of course, you all probably know of this study done by a high school student of lab rats, or mice. What he did was, he had a group of mice, and he had them go through a maze. And the mice went through in about 10 minutes. And then he separated it into two groups, and one group listened to generally rock music. And the other group listened to classical music. And what do you think happened?
A lot happened.
A lot happened, exactly. The rock music mices, they completed the maze after 3 weeks of intense listening to it. They completed in about 30 minutes. And the classical mices finished it in about 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Whoa!
That's a great difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we can see from this study that there's great power in classical music, and rock music has a destructive force for our brains. Classical music is constructive. And you keep going.